Hello, welcome back to March's Planning Mess, and I am doing a midweek video because I have spent the last several days planning out my next planner. I think I am in a place of trying to figure out exactly when I'm going to implement said planner, but I'm going to show it to you first and then I'll go through my thoughts, and maybe if you have some ideas or opinions you can drop them in the comments, but for right now let's get into it. Okay, so this is a undated N2 horizontal common planner, and it is a compact size. You can see it is not very thick. My thought is I'm trying to take all of the planners that I have, condense them into one slim book that I can carry with me everywhere, so I have everything with me all the time. I'm not carrying multiple books. That's the only negative thing about my current system, is that I do have multiple books that I like to carry around. So let's get into it. This is based loosely on the complete planner, because I like the idea of having everything together. The other thing that it is based on is I wanted to have 3 to 4 months worth of information per book. I know 6 months is not going to fit because I currently have 6 months in one of these and I still have to carry multiple books. So let's get into it. All right, here is, and I showed this in my last video, my little plan of what I wanted to do. I want to have a monthly spread, bill paying, and my other 3 accounts that I keep track of that are not, they don't have a lot of traffic, on a 2-page spread. After that, then we're going to go into a weekly rotation, which will have a weekly vertical spread, a 2-page spread, which is with a to-do list and a brain dump, and then I have a 1-page for my my main bill paying, and not bill paying, but like everyday use checking account, and then 7 dailies. Don't ask me what that mess is. And then that would just repeat. So I figured all that out in here. I'm going to show it to you. And what I realized was I could definitely fit 4 months in here, no problem. But I actually don't want to fit 4 months in here. I really only want 3, because yes, 12 is divisible by 4 or by 3, which gives you 4 months. So I could do that and not have my years like overlapping weirdly, but I really just want deep down inside this to be 1 quarter's worth. That my brain likes that better. I think better that way. I plan better that way. So what I needed to do when I just put 3 months worth in, I ended up having 100 blank pages in the back. And so I didn't really want to have that much waste, because I know I'm not a huge note taker. I'm not going to fill it up with just doodles and scribbles. So I needed to have a better use for that. So this morning I was thinking about it, frustrated, because I felt like I'd found a really good system, but I didn't want to put 4 months in there. I didn't want to waste pages. I wanted it to fit 3 months. And I'm like, what else can I add to my weekly spreads that will fill them up? What can I do? And so I just got on Pinterest and started Googling like daily pages and monthly pages, and just I kind of was looking for alternative uses for the basic pages that I'm going to use in the normal ways, to maybe add some alternative things that I might enjoy doing. And so the thing that popped up finally that kind of stuck with me, because I did find a couple really nice like weekly charts and things that I probably will start incorporating and having them in there. But I found a layout for planning your wardrobe, and I am really big into that right now. And so this would be a place for me to actually have a monthly spread where I would plan out the outfits I was going to wear, and then weekly spreads that would show what I actually wore and if there was any correlation, if I liked how I felt in it, etc. So that used up a bunch of space. And then the other thing that I found was a nice weekly spread for memory keeping, which is something I want to do so badly. And I've had a separate memory keeper, and I've just had to abandon it last year, halfway through the year, because I could not keep up. It was just too much to keep up with. So I think having these things all tucked away within each week or month, depending on the layout, it's going to work. So I went through, I'm going to show you kind of what the layouts look like, how they repeat through the book, and then the back of the book is the extra stuff that's going to get tucked in. So this is out of order, but because I did all of it on Post-its and not actually in the book, I can move it out around how I want. That also being said, I have my order came in with my new blank notebooks. These are the new ones with, I can't remember what the name of the paper is. I'm sorry. It's not Tomoe River, but I'll tell you what, it sure feels like it. I cannot tell a difference in the feel between a Tomoe River notebook and this new paper. So it's nice and thin. It's not thick like the core planner, which was what I was afraid it would be. So this is still your 272 page, whatever it is, notebook. Same size as this one. I ordered a B6 Slim, which is what this one is. And I just wanted to try out the size. And I'll be honest, it's because I want to use the cover for my Jibun Techo that I have, that I'm just like, I love this pocket. I love all the little pockets in it. And it's sort of clear. I don't know. It kind of looks tackier now than I was hoping it would. But anyway, I bought this because I want to try the size out. And if I'm only doing it for a quarter, I can totally live with a weird size for a quarter. So I got one of these, and then I got two N2s. And I love that I was able to get them in the mulberry. That's such a gorgeous, gorgeous color. And yeah, so moving forward, I'm either going to have a black cover or a mulberry cover. And I might have a B6 Slim. I haven't decided, but I'm kind of leaning towards maybe just going for it. So let's stop talking about my potential options because I told you to do that at the end and I'm digressing. All right, let's flip through this guy so you can see. So starting off, I'm going to have a 26 yearly planner and a 27, like the calendar card. The back of those two, I'm going to have those taped in here on my printable washi tape, which I'm going to be using heavily in these books because it's so thin and light and it prints beautifully. And I have whole sheets of it, so I can divide it up however I want. So that's going to be on this spread here. I don't think I'm going to put in like my word of the year or any of that stuff because that's going to be in whatever my quarter one planner is going to be. So if it's not quarter one, I don't need to have it there. I'll just keep referring back to that one and updating that one. I don't like having things in multiple places. I want one place to go and look for it. Okay. So after that, we're going to just go right into our first spread, which will be a July monthly spread. These are the clear Post-it notes. You can see I can lift them up, but I can also look at them and see how they line up with the grid because they're clear. So this has been fabulous. So that's July. You can see it bled out over, so I had to like make sure my stickers were lined up so I didn't like ruin this book in the places that don't have Post-it notes because we will get to those. Okay, this would be how my banking situation would be in these 4 accounts. There's not a lot of traffic, so I can keep track of all of them each in this 2-page spread because it's really not a lot. Okay, here's what a weekly spread would look like. I somehow misplaced my black pen, so on I went with the blue pen. And you can see it kind of bleeds and whatever, because again, these are these little sticky, Post-it notes, and they're a little bit slippery, I guess. Okay, so that would be the next thing you see is the weekly spread. And then following that, now in my current planner, I have this page and I have this page with a Dutch door system. I may do that. I have not made a decision on whether or not I need to do that. It kind of leaning to not doing that just because do I want to have that Dutch door cut off for all the spreads that are involved within that week and the daily pages, and like, is that worth it? I don't know. But anyway, it's a possibility that I haven't made a decision on. Okay, then I have my running to-do list. I don't know if you can see because the highlighter doesn't show up too well on this Post-it note, but this is where I can put my running to-do list, and this is a brain dump area. It's usually covered with Post-it notes of the things that I like to keep track of over the year, so that will continue to be that way. It's also a good place to keep notes if you're somewhere and you want to write things down in a dedicated place for that specific week. Okay, then this is my main checking account that's going to take up probably 2 columns worth because there's a lot of traffic there. I don't love the location of this. But that being said, I don't really have another place to put it because it only uses half of a 2-page spread. So that's kind of where we're at. Now we're going into the dailies. So in my daily page, I have resisted this in these books, people I have, but I kind of want to try it. If I hate it, I don't have to do it the next quarter. Okay, so I'm going to have a place to put my Be Real for the day. I'm going to have a place for a media log, and then the rest of this can be journal, it can be ephemera, it can be stickers, whatever I want to do to fill the space, or leave it blank. We'll see. But that is kind of the fun thing about looking through. I like kind of, yeah, I that's the thing I've missed with my current journal setup, because all the journal stuff is together in the back of the book. I mean, it's nice to have it compartmentalized, but then it doesn't always relate to what was happening on that day and like my weekly spread. And so it's disjointed, which is why I kind of want to do this layout where everything's all together. Okay, so that happens, and then we're going to have, I just marked these with sticky notes of, which daily page it would be. Then we have the next week. So this would be a vertical spread. I didn't draw it out again because we know what it looks like. We just saw it. And then here would be my running to-dos, my brain dump, my busier checking account, and then 7 more days. Okay. So you can see we've now gotten into week 29, week 30. Okay. So that was all for the month. I don't have like a spread for the end of the month to like recap or anything yet. Okay, this would be an August monthly spread. We're going to just do the exact same rotation of things through 2 more months. And it ends here. This is the end of week 39, which is the last full week of September, which is where I would change quarters at. So that was where the book ended, and I was only on page 20 or 19, and I needed to go to 120. So I had 100 pages to fill, and this is the way I'm going to fill them. And this is not going to be in the same order now. So these things will go back to the beginning and fit in between. So hang on. All right. So this would be at the beginning of the book, right after my first page that had the yearly spreads. I want quarter copies of my health data for the 3 quarters before the one that I'm going to be in. So this would be 25, 26, 26. So Q4 25, Qs 1 and 2 26, and then this would be the current one that I would be filling in. The reasoning for this is if I'm at the doctor, I want to be able to show those symptoms, how long they've been going. It's like a year's worth of data to take with me to appointments. So that's kind of the reason. It would be obviously some copying over and redundancy, but I really don't care, just to be able to have that there. If I change my mind, I think that that's done moving forward, I can do that. But that's kind of where I'm at with that. Okay, and this would, just to explain to anyone, this would be a book for 2026 quarter 3. Okay, so let's go into the clothing plan. All right, so this is going to be a monthly spread that would look, like that for July. And it would be a place where I could print out pictures of the outfits I have together. So I went through all my business clothes, and it's all very mix and match kind of stuff that I wear to work. And so every time I go through all of them, I leave them as outfits in my closet, and then I bring them all out on my bed and I try and reorganize them in a different way. So I'm kind of feeling like I always have something new. So when I did that just yesterday, I had 20 outfits put together. So that's 4 weeks, 4 weekdays worth of outfits. So I could easily fill up my calendar and just be like, in this order, I think I want to do them. And, it would help to look kind of at my plan for the month. Like, are there certain days that I would want to be maybe more casual or maybe a little more dressed up, or, anything like that would influence which outfits I put where. And then I would take those pictures of those outfits and plop them in. And that would be my plan. Obviously, I'm not going to follow through with that. I'm also going to have like weekends, the last 2 columns that would be casual things. And will I take pictures of those and put them in and plan for it? Or will I just kind of go with the flow? I don't know. But part of it, so we dress business casual at at work. I mean, I'm probably a little bit dressier than a lot of people in my same position would be. But that's just because I like clothes and I like to dress up. But a lot of like, because it's winter and I'm in my heavy sweaters, I have, a lot of them, and the vests and things that I mix and match in my wardrobe for work are things that I could wear casually as well, maybe with jeans instead of dress pants. I have been loath to pull any of those sweaters out and wear them with jeans on a weekend because I don't want to forget where it goes, which outfit it goes with, if it's one I haven't worn yet or whatever. So because I will photograph those and put them into this plan, it will make it easier for me to be like, oh, I wore the green sweater with jeans over the weekend, but I'm going to need it next week. Which outfit did it go with after all? I mean, I could figure it out, but I'd have to look through all of them to see which one was missing. And so I can reference this to get it back to where it belongs. So I kind of like that. Okay. So that would be a 2-page spread for July. And then we would have, if I can turn the page. Come on. I'm all thumbs right now. Then we would have, I did all 3 months, not that they would be in that order. They would be, in that part of the planner. And it maybe would be after my daily pages. It maybe would be before my daily pages. I don't know. Remember, I've got that one funny checking thing that's right before my daily pages. I don't know. The order of this is flexible. These are all Post-its. I can move them wherever I want. Okay, so then there's September. So I got those 3 monthly ones. Then I was like, okay, I need to draw out how is my weekly view going to be. So here's the weekly plan. And see, this would be kind of nice before my daily pages. So there is that. So this would be like, week 27. And I had to put this in here because it was bleeding really badly. And even now I can rub it and get a little bit to shift. So here's week 28. These are all still July. Week 29, 30. So I just went crazy and filled all of these through the end of the quarter. Okay. So, I did give so then I also have a place because I've been trying to keep track of kind of what I have because yes, it's my winter wardrobe, but that doesn't mean that all of those things are only things I would wear in the wintertime. Obviously, my big bulky sweaters and the big puffy vests and wool jackets, those are winter attire. I'm not going to probably wear those except for maybe occasionally on a cold day in the fall or spring. So some of those things, yes, are dedicated to winter, but a lot of them are things that I could do in the spring or fall. And so I want to kind of keep track of which things go in which place. And so, anyway, I will have a place to keep track of my casual wardrobe, like which jeans am I wearing a lot, which sweaters or sweatshirts or whatever things I'm wearing a lot. Kind of want to see what my favorites are and what things I think I love and I'm not actually using. So I'm trying to be more mindful about my clothing because I love clothes and I could just buy clothes all the time and I need to kind of get it together. Okay, so then this would be and this is all for all of Q3 because basically I'm going to be in my winter wardrobe. Well, I mean, I usually start that in December, even though it's not technically winter. So the end of Q3, I'd be starting spring. So I may need to maybe I'll just start working in the next book as far as laying out the nuts and bolts of what the wardrobe is, what I have in it. But anyway, this would be the casual stuff that I'm using for fall. This would be my work stuff for fall, and I know it would take a 2-page spread. I try and organize my clothing by bottoms, tops, and layering pieces, at least for fall, winter, and spring. Summertime, I mean, I'm not always layering it. Sometimes it's too hot for that. But this is, I like to have, I have a nice document on my computer for this, but it would be nice just to kind of see it here. And then I could indicate, is this something that I use also in multiple seasons? Like this one would be for fall. So a lot of this fall stuff goes over into winter, and I just end up with a heavier duty layering piece. So like my fall jackets tend to be very light and thin, where my winter jackets tend to be bulkier. So, but sometimes the pants are the same and they can go both places. But then I do have some winter pants that are like wool, and I would not want to wear them in the fall, but I might wear them in the spring where it's still a bit chilly. So, I kind of am trying to be more mindful and curious and really use my wardrobe to its full potential. So then I've got, okay, so this would be at the very, very beginning going into July. So the wardrobe stuff is done for the whole quarter. This spread would be before, I can't think, before the month would begin. So this would be before the monthly spread. So I have a July plans and goals and reflection. So I usually put like the month in the middle, and then I like draw little lines around other things that I really want to kind of focus on for myself, for, self-care, or for like my household or whatever for that month. And then over here, I usually have the vellum, and I call it welcome page. And lifting up that vellum is usually blank behind there, and I'm always wish that I had a use for it. I think I'm going to have maybe my monthly trackers underneath there. I don't know. That's why there's a question mark. I could put it somewhere else, but I don't know. Okay, and then now we're going to go into, so that would be for July. Then we're going to have a memory keeping section. So this would be a spread for memory keeping, and this would also be maybe after my running to-do list section. So memory keeping, so place for some pictures. I can either do a landscape or 2 portraits, a little snippet about things that happened during that day, a gratitude for the day, and then maybe some notes. We were on vacation in Hawaii. I don't know. It was a horrible week. It snowed every single day, and I was stuck in the house. I don't know. Whatever is pertinent for there. I might decorate it with stickers or more pictures, because I had a bunch that didn't make it over in this section. So this is kind of an open thing. This is my memory keeping spread, and I'm really happy with it. It's small, but I think it will be fun. Okay, and the other thing, I would probably list my my dates on the side here, or at least Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somehow. That would have to fit in there. Okay, and so then this would be the exact same thing for 28, 29, all the way. There's 37, 38, 39. Okay. And then the ending of my book, I'm going to have an entire year's worth of monthly pages moving forward. The reasoning behind this is when you go to the doctor's office and they want to make you an appointment, sometimes it's a year in advance. You need to have a place to put that. So this would be October 26th, November, December, and then here's January 27, and we would go all the way until the end of September 27. So that's more than a year. So that gives us 15 months of monthly spreads in this book. Now, yes, I could put them all together at the beginning like some people do, but I like kind of putting them where I feel like they follow chronologically. So what is after all of this? Nothing. We have blank pages. So I have like 20 pages from 102 to 121 that are just blank, that could be used for something else, that could be note pages, whatever. But that is what I have. So I don't know if anybody else kind of resonated with this, but this book is very oddly chunky. So let's, but it's my plan. And if I choose to use this book, I may have to pull things out and put them in different places. But I think okay, this is a good pivot time to talk about when to start this. So my only reason for not starting it in July is this. I don't want to waste this book. This is the book that would disappear for when I implement the system, because all of this stuff here, these are all the financial things that would be inside here. So I wouldn't keep it in both places. And part of me feels like, okay, you bought this, you committed to this, you should use this for the rest of the year. And the other part of me says, just cut your losses and move forward. So I haven't decided yet. But I have 3 months worth of these. I'm going to be making one of these planners today. So if I chose to do Q1 of 27, I could do it. I could fill it out. It could be done. It could be finished. It could be beautiful and ready to go in 27. And if I want to do a 3 and 4, I've got 3 more books, including this, that I could use to do quarters 3 and 4. And I could abandon this. But if I choose to not abandon it, I won't have done 3 and 4, and I can just make up one of these books to be like my current everyday carry to get me through the last half of the year. So I don't know, but I think that's what would make the most sense. I've convinced myself just by talking to you guys. I love it. This one, let's go ahead and use the B6 Slim for 27, and we're going to lay it out exactly like this. It will give me a chance to implement it, see how it looks, drawing out my own layout, and just moving forward with that plan. And I don't have to make a decision. I still have 4 more months in my current everyday carry, and that's 4 months of time where my brain's going to go into 1,200 other different places and ideas, and I might come up with something different that I want to use somewhere else. So I think that is what I want to do. Wow. Okay, so another option for me, another thing that's kind of held me back a little bit from just diving into third quarter is because this is a horizontal common planner, there's a part of me that wants to try doing this as my vertical layout and then this as my running to-do list and the other things I need to use the space for. And so that could in theory be a whole year, but I could give myself daily pages at the end of this, so I'd still have a full page to do my journaling in. So that is an option for this book. Even though I did use this book to plan this out, it would not make sense to actually use this book for first quarter 27 because I don't want to pull all of those sticky notes out and start over. I know where I want to start. So find that spot in the book, pull the notes, or, take the notes out of here as I put them in there and just use it. This is a guide. So I can't believe how much clarity I have right now of how I want to do this. But anyway, thank you for coming along on this journey while I rambled. If you have any great ideas of what I should do for quarters 3 and 4 of 26, since I have decided to commit to this book for 27 in this layout that I've planned in this book, if you have any ideas of what I should do for quarters 3 and 4, should I use this for the last 6 months of the year and finish it out? Should I do one of these layouts, 2 more in the other 2 blank books I have, or use this and one of the blank books? If you have any thoughts or ideas, please leave it in the comments. I appreciate you watching. I hope it's helped spark your creativity, given you some ideas of things to do. The other thing that I decided on today was, since I had taken the time yesterday to plan out all my outfits, I want to start this clothing planning and execution follow through. I want to do that starting now. How am I going to do that? Where's it going to fit in my current everyday carry? That was kind of my first thought to myself, but I remembered something. I have booklets, N2 booklets that I purchased that I don't have a plan for. I bought them in case I ran out of journaling space in the back of these books because I was afraid I might. So if I can't make one of those last for 2 to 4 months, I should be able to just tuck that in with my current everyday planner in my Troggin case and have a place for those notes to keep up with that, because I'm really, that really excited me. I don't think I would have room for memory keeping. I would have to count out how many pages that were in there and see how much I would need. I need to basically have 4.5 months or 5 months basically worth of layouts. So I may not be able to do the memory keeping part just yet. But anyway, I've got some projects for today and I'm really kind of excited about it. So I will post pictures, or well, I'll probably just do a flip through when I get this one finished. I don't think I'll finish it all today because that's a lot of layouts to draw. And for people that have come from the bullet journaling background, you know that those can take a long time to do well. But anyway, I will do a flip through once this has some structure to it. But I do have, like I said, 3 months worth of monthly stickers because of my sticker subscription kit. They're building up now. And so I will be able to finish all of this stuff with what I have today. So I'm very excited about that. So yeah, I will check in with you later when I have something to show for my efforts. And I appreciate you coming along as I brainstormed and talked about that and felt like I came to a good decision. Have a wonderful day.